Now let's talk dynamic weather in Forza Motorsport. How is it like driving in the wet in Forza compared to Gran Turismo? Not as all as it seems. Now we've got a Forza Motorsport screen here at Suzuka, and you can see it looks absolutely incredible. Look at the trails we have coming off the cars, the ray traced reflections as well. I mean, it just looks like, you know, and we've also got the rain effect on the fake camera, whether you like that or not, it's personal preference. On the right hand side in Gran Turismo, again, really good reflections and that aura of being in a wet, rainy space, you know, ominous feeling. But it doesn't look as dramatic as Forza, in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree. But Forza just has this more, you know, chaos factor going on. The way in third person, the camera adjusts to make it look as though the car is moving around more than it actually is. The density of stuff we have beside the tracks. Incredibly, the reflections of the LED screens by the side of the track are really magnificent. You're going to see on the right hand side. And as I said, Forza here looks way more alive than Gran Turismo 7, doesn't it? But a few things I want to talk about. Gran Turismo 7 for me has a better dynamic weather system fundamentally. And that is because in Gran Turismo, you really feel like certain parts of the track are wet and you need to avoid them, and you end up creating wet lines. That is a fundamental of wet weather driving. Gran Turismo Sport was not like this. Gran Turismo Sport was just everything was a bit wetter. And Forza for me is similar. Forza, you have a little bit less grip, but there's no such thing as a wet line at all in Forza. And you do 100% that in Gran Turismo. I've driven this track in Gran Turismo in the Esports Championship, where certain parts of Suzuka have been wet, like the spoon has been wet, the hairpin's been wet. Take different lines through there, and the rest of the track has been dry. I don't think Forza is built to be able to do that. It's just going to be the same level of wetness absolutely everywhere. So someone like this first corner at Suzuka, I've been absolutely punted here. I'm just taking the same lines. You can see here through the S's, really technical corners. And I'm just going to turn in here, slightly less grip. I'm not going to aquaplane straight on. Again here, you know, just taking the... You could slow it down. Sorry, you could look at this as a slowed down version of a dry lap. And I don't think that's really good enough. It's not about being good enough. I think Gran Turismo just does it a lot better. If you have a look at the lines I'll show you in coming up when I'm doing Gran Turismo, I'm actually having to account for different levels of surface water that is really going to cause my car to aquaplane or bog down. You can see here someone in a Toyota Supra. By the way, you have intermediate and wet tyres in Gran Turismo. You only have wet tyres in Forza. And you really end up looking out for these puddles in Gran Turismo. And if you go over those puddles or go over the curbs in particular, you really unsettle the car. You see on the left-hand side there, I just went over that curb like it's absolutely no problem. And again, maybe on the right-hand side, we might clip this curb. Yeah, I would not do that in Gran Turismo, by the way. 100%, I would not clip that curb. And if you're watching and you've played Gran Turismo, you'll know the exactly same thing. In a high downforce car now, on the right-hand side, the Peugeot Le Mans entry, this is a car that you'd expect to, you know, really suffer from aquaplaning, and it does in that game. Whereas in Forza, we're not. See, slightly drier conditions now in Gran Turismo on the right-hand side. That is... I can tell you now, like, the conditions you see on the right-hand side are actually more treacherous to drive in than what you see in Forza on the left-hand side, just because wet weather in Gran Turismo is so significant and dramatic. So it depends what you like. Do you like the feeling of it being really wet out there and it's cool and there's water splashing around and there's water on the lens and it looks cool and you feel like, you know, this was a more difficult race? Or do you prefer... I mean, look at the standing water on the right-hand side. See the just reflecting off the sun a little bit. Inside here. Look at the inside there. Look at all that standing water. That is real standing water in Gran Turismo. And you can see the difference. See here on the inside, on the pit exit. You know, I've done races where the pit exit has been really wet. You come out, you get caught out, you spin around. That's not going to happen in Forza. It's actually quite difficult to make out any fundamental standing water in Forza. Let me know if you see any, but it's not important for Forza because it doesn't make a difference to the actual handling. So I know I've said that, you know, on a base level, I think Forza has better handling when it comes to the sensation of driving and racing a car in real life and it being alive and you having to account for body roll and pitching when you're on the brake, stuff like that. I feel like it really does not compete with Gran Turismo at all in wet weather. This straight here in Forza, I can just nail it. On Gran Turismo, I'm constantly scanning and trying to see, are there any puddles that I should be avoiding? Yes, Forza looks better. I think there can be no doubt that Forza looks better. Just looks more moody. But that is a massive, massive, massive difference. Have a look here on the left and right side. You can see often some splashes when you go over that. It's amazing to see how muddy the side of the track gets in Gran Turismo. I'm not sure they've really modelled that in Forza. In Forza, does it look that different off the side of the track? Because in Gran Turismo, they've actually modelled these different track states. They spent a lot of time and effort getting those right. So very big differences there. By the way, make sure you subscribe if you want to see more comparisons. And if there's comparisons specifically that you want to see, then let me know in the comments. So I do enjoy driving in the wet. I think I won this race or came second, which is pretty awesome. A little note, by the way. This is a tangential point, but I've said for a long time in Gran Turismo, the qualifying for daily racing